Hi, my name is Coldbeer and let's start with Last Epoch. If this game was a human, this person would have great work skills, would dress in fancy robes, but would struggle to entertain you with his stories about life, the universe and everything. Meaning that in-game NPCs are blank, lore and story is not engaging, but the gameplay itself is really nice and very entertaining. I like the graphics, colors, build styles and some really original looking enemies. Also, the game is in early access, but 87% of reviews at the time of creating this video are positive. Imagine if you were in early access. Yeah, you! How many people would describe you positively if you had some of your best skills and qualities removed? You think it's hard to imagine? Don't bother answering, I just had an idea I wanted to share. All the kids, all the human children are adults in early access. People on Steam are talking that Last Epoch feels like a better version of Diablo 3 and it's a bit less complex than Path of Exile, but at the same time, as I've mentioned before, it's quite generic, so if you are looking for something really new, just carry on. Weird West. Here you'll discover a dark fantasy reimagining of the Wild West where lawmen and gunslingers share the frontier with creepy creatures. You will journey through the story of a group of atypical heroes written into a legend by the decisions you make. Each journey is unique and tailored to the actions taken, a series of high-stakes adventures where everything counts and the world reacts to the choices you make. Each playthrough is unique as the game tailors the story to the player's actions and past choices for an ideal dramatic arc, because you will be faced with brutal choices and consequences that can't be undone. Like, you know, when you put too much salt in your potato salad, you can't take it back. Or, you know, like you can take back all those years you just wasted by not becoming an outstanding penis doctor. Oh, what a doctor you could have become. Torchlight. The game may feel a bit outdated by now, but it is still a great title for you to try if you never played it. Although it feels just like an older, simpler version of Torchlight 2, don't skip it completely if you have a chance to try it. Let me explain why. Play it so you could later grasp the entire awesomeness of Torchlight 2. Yeah, you know, like the people who never played Morrowind or Oblivion and they jumped straight into Skyrim. They can't enjoy Morrowind after Skyrim if they never played it before. It feels dramatically outdated, but if you played Morrowind first and only then try Skyrim, you can appreciate all the life quality improving fixes and other goodies. They make you happy and at the same time you don't lose your faith about Morrowind as well. So the same is with the Torchlight, at least try it before you play Torchlight 2. Hades. This is one of the most known action RPG roguelite games in our universe. Yeah, your goal is to avoid dying, but the game's mechanics are made in a way that you will die a lot, and those deaths will make you stronger. And that is the beauty of Hades. You know, like in other games, you die, you rage quit, and then immediately uninstall. And here, instead of that, you will try again and again, because it's fun. It's like stabbing your own leg with a fork over and over again, but instead of a pain, you feel, I don't know, the amazing taste of potato salad. Yeah, with your leg, deal with it. So stab yourself over and over again until you feel shockingly obese. You know, obese with happiness. Bastion. This is an action role-playing experience with a reactive narrator who marks your every move. Here you can explore more than 40 lush, hand-painted environments, enjoy gamepad support, and discover the secrets of the Calamity, a surreal catastrophe that shattered the world to pieces. Although if you wish for an item variety like we have in other action RPG games, keep in mind that here you will find only about 10 upgradable weapons. The game doesn't have a huge replay value even if it has a New Game Plus setting, but the price of the game is nice, and if you wait for a sale, you can get it very cheap, so putting it into your wishlist may be a good idea. And this video is sponsored by me and my amazing t-shirt collection. Meet the Beer Bender, I created it by myself, pixel by pixel, and the maker of beers. Original art drawn by an amazing artist, Roberta Relaite, especially for my channel. So these original t-shirt designs can be yours, don't miss the opportunity to wear something nobody else has. Nox. This one is a true classic. Game story starts when a dude gets sucked into the fantasy world of Nox via his TV set. So it's basically the opposite of the movie The Ring, where, you know, the opposite happens. Oh, and yes, I hope that you're watching this video before you go to sleep. So anyway, Nox was called Diablo clone for a long time, but I wouldn't dare to call it like that. It has its own charm, its own story, its own engine and design. What I liked the most was the graphic style. It's pixelated, but somehow it still looks cool and it aged very well. Maybe because lazy developers nowadays are making tons of games like this, but their quality is still worse. So Nox looks quite okayish. The game itself is somewhat linear. You'll see see some minor differences only if you choose a different character class while playing the game for a second time. As for music, it's way more cheerful than in Diablo 2, but still a great soundtrack. If you want a great old school experience, Nox will definitely deliver it. Magicka 2. You can play this alone or you can play Magicka 2 with friends, which is a way better experience. Playing Magicka alone is like eating marinated herring alone, without onions, hot potatoes and a shot of crystal clear Ukrainian gorilka. So if you have a friend, make him play Magicka with you. There is a simple trick that can help you win your friend's attention. Make some delicious potato salad from the best ingredients possible. Don't forget to add a lot of Dr. Sausage, then buy some gorilka and consume those things alone. Yeah, next morning go to a friend's house and say that you want to play a game with him. He will let you in, I promise. This trick never fails. Gatewalkers. This is not a standard action hack-and-slash game. It has a strong survival element implemented, and I should say that I am not a fan of those things. I don't find it cool that you must eat and drink water all the time. I find that annoying routine that can be avoided by, not including this in the game. I eat and drink every day in my life. I don't want to do that in-game as well. I also don't want to give any bad ideas to developers, but I don't want to brush my teeth, wipe my ass and clip my nails in any games as well. I'm really happy that I can avoid those chores in the imaginary world, but after this video, which I'm kinda sure will acquire hundreds of thousands of views, these few features will be definitely implemented in some lame games of the future, and I'm sorry about that. Bad ideas spread very well. Also here you have to build fireplaces to not go cold or be afraid of the dark. Anyway, this is a fresh take on action RPGs and it really deserves a place in this list. Or maybe a fireplace so you could burn all this survival nonsense out of it. Game is not fully released yet, but we could all play the free test version of it for some time. So as always, try adding it to your wishlist and let's hope for the best. Sacred 2 Gold. There are 3 Sacred games, but only the first 2 are considered as good, because after the release of the third one, this franchise just died. Just like your hopes and dreams of becoming an outstanding penis doctor. Sacred 2 is far from perfect, it is filled with boring side quests and you can feel the general oldness of the game, but graphics are still okay for nowadays, so it will probably not bend your eyes inside out like many other older games. For example, I tried to add here some games I liked when I was a teenager, but after a few tries my eyes started to bleed and fell out on the floor. Also, I died. True story. And that will not happen if you try Sacred 2 Gold or even its older brother. Undungeon. When I first saw the trailer of this game, I was really impressed by the psychedelic electro rock music. It was really original and good, although I had to delete all the videos where I put Undungeon with its music on, because after a while they become greedy and suddenly monetized my own videos. Imagine, I advertise their game for free, and after a while they take my revenue away. That is so low, that beyond low. So I don't recommend buying it, although it's an okay game with mostly positive review score. Sands of Aura. Although the game is played from the top-down perspective and it looks like a hack-and-slash RPG, which it is, Sands of Aura is actually more like a top-down Dark Souls, meaning that you will die a lot and then you will die even more, and that, at least for me, takes a lot of fun away. Game has really beautiful graphics, and despite it's a hard game, you can control your hero quite easily and kill some monsters without a sweat. Well, after some practice. To be honest, after a lot of practice, and for some of you, practice may not help at all. Well, that escalated quickly. Otherwise, it's a decent game, but keep in mind that it is in early access and you may want to wait for the full release, because they are resetting the progress with every update. Well, it depends on your hopes and dreams, I guess. Death's Door. Overwhelmingly positive reviews should really inspire your curiosity. Here you control a crow, some kind of avian Grim Reaper, but your job of reaping souls of a dead might get monotonous. Suddenly your assigned soul is stolen, probably by some gopniks, and you must track down a desperate thief to a realm untouched by death, where creatures grow far past their expiry date and overflow with greed and power. You have a vast array of melee weapons, various arrows and powerful magic to overcome a fantastic bunch of beasts and demigods. This land is full of twisted inhabitants and countless secrets. You will experience a somber yet darkly comedic tale uncovering the secrets behind the flow of souls, the role of crows, and the secret of vodka without a hangover. Well, probably not the latter. Stories: The Path of Destinies. This is an action RPG set in a vibrant fairy tale universe filled with floating islands, majestic airships, and colorful magic. You will play as Reynardo, an ex-pirate and an intentional hero who suddenly becomes the last line of defense against the Mad Emperor and its countless evil minions. People on Steam are talking that this is a very nice game with deep characters and really great narration, with choose your own adventure gameplay style. At first it's fun with combos and unlocking new things, but it gets repetitive to get all the stories unlocked, as well as grinding for the last levels for the achievement. Also, many say that its biggest strength is also its weakness. The Path of Destinies have 24 different endings, and it can be a grind fest if you want to unlock them all. Anima: The Reign of Darkness. I'm definitely not a fan of damage numbers popping out of monsters all the time. I wish it was rather a blood or acid or, even vodka instead. As developers say, this game is inspired by the greatest old school games. And yeah, this game looks like the first Diablo. It really has all the vibes and, even more. I think it even copies the sounds from Diablo as well. We have a saying in Lithuania: "Ant svetimo bybio į rojų išjojo," meaning riding to paradise on a stranger's dick. Except that stranger this time is a very well known named Diablo. Also, I must say that Anima was released as a mobile game before, so don't expect miracles. Anyway, here you'll find a single-player campaign and explore the abyss. Kill demons, various beasts, dark knights, and other monstrosities that will remind you about your ex-girlfriend. Game offers about 100 levels and then challenges your skills with engaging boss battles. For ass-kicking, you will have more than 60 different skills and 200 different items. That item count doesn't sound like much, but I always say that quality is better than quantity. Well, except if it's boobs. The more the better. Viking Vengeance. Here you can turn into avatars of gods during battles, wield Thor's hammer, use Loki's mischief skills or Odin's power to crush the balls of your enemies, along with the rest of their bodies, of course. Here you'll also find a unique level up system with a variety of skills, talents, and items. Also 2 different afterlife ways to choose from when you die. That is actually frightening and can only mean that you will die a lot. That's brutal. Also, people on Steam are talking that the game is littered with bugs, like missing music or you casually stucking somewhere between textures and dying because of that. It looks like it's a common thing here. Game has mixed reviews, but keep in mind that 61% of them are positive. I cannot recommend this game, but it can be really cheap on some sale, so why not? Chronicon. Game is in 2D setting, but an overwhelmingly positive review score should get your attention. You'll find 5 large acts, each with their own storyline, 4 unique classes, procedurally generated dungeons and areas, local co-op up to 4 players, remote play together support, 400 unique items, 900 unique skills, abilities and perks, hardcore mode, and zillion other things. People on Steam are talking that Diablo Immortal is pure garbage if you compare it to Chronicon. For many people, this is the best action RPG game they have ever tried in their lives, and for some, it's very simple and boring, so basically it still can disappoint you, but the chances are really slim. And the price is nice, don't think twice. Tribes of Midgard. This is a cooperative survival game in which players must resist the oncoming invasion of giants during a Ragnarok, latter meaning the end of the world in Viking language. You'll need to explore the wilderness, craft new weapons, and be prepared to defend the sacred center of your village from the grim shadows. All the while, a giant of Jotunheim stalks closer to your village seeking to destroy Midgard and fulfill the prophecy, so he could proudly say to you,
"Welcome to the end of the world."
Basically, this is a Norse mythology game where you can gather a group of up to 10 people and try to survive in a procedurally generated world. The longer you and your tribe survive, the greater will be the rewards. Maybe this time your potato salad will have actual potatoes in it. You never know, rewards are great. Lost Ark. This is a free MMORPG game with all of its benefits and shortcomings, meaning that you can play this game without spending a dime, but you won't look as cool as those who spend their hard-earned money. Also, your progress will be slower as well in general, and you will have to find some friends if you want to defeat the toughest bosses. By the way, if you don't like anime, keep in mind that this is a Korean game. Here all the heroes look they are at most 20 years old, and your sorceress runs on high heels all the time. Yeah, even on sand. At the beach. How is that even possible, you may ask? It may not be possible for you when you walk with your high heels, but for sorceresses it may not be a big deal at all, although I'm pretty sure that you should be passively losing mana all the time for that. Din's Legacy. This may not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but surprisingly it has a better review score, 77% positive, than some grand, well-known titles. Although, to be honest, this score is made only by 137 people. Din's Legacy is a simple indie game, so it's really small and it will not eat your PC's resources. You know, like you eat delicious potato salad. You will only need 500 megabytes of free space, half a gigabyte of RAM, and GeForce 2 graphics card. I don't know, it's probably the specifications of a 10-year-old PC or something. So anyway, you will control a character who will be mutating over time, grow some horns or hands of fire. You will explore uniquely created worlds for every session, with different scenarios, win-lose conditions, areas, monsters, and so on. Also, here you'll find co-op multiplayer and LAN support. This is huge. Anyway, don't expect something amazing. It's okay, it's more good than bad, and in the list of the best 40 games like Diablo, it's actually enough. Rum Gun. If you're searching for something less popular but still good enough to lose your time in, Rum Gun fulfills these criteria and offers even more. This is a game made by one man, but by playing it you probably couldn't tell that. Also, it's super cheap and it has very positive reviews on Steam. Also, I follow the guy on Facebook and I can see that Rum Gun is a passion project. The updates are quite constant and they not only fix bugs but include additional content as well. Also, the developer always thanks me in the comments when I put his games into my list, so he is polite and a great person. And he's from Transylvania, so it may very well be that this game is created by a vampire. Let's support him. Also, pirates and not boring skeletons and demons? That is something original and deserves way more attention. Gauntlet. This is a game to play with friends because it's the best when playing co-op, and it even supports local multiplayer on the same screen. Here you play as one of 4 distinct heroes in an intense monster-filled dungeon brawler with a combination of both uniquely built and randomly generated levels to explore. Your friends can also become your foes as you compete to see who can claim the most kills and the most gold. For that you will have 4 classic characters: Warrior, Valkyrie, Elf, and Wizard. So an elf is a class, not a race somehow. Imagine if you could graduate from university and become an engineer, a doctor, a movie director, or a Latvian. That makes the same sense. Absolute zirga galva. Most of the comments on Steam are about how fun and amazing this game is, so if you have a buddy or two to play together, I can recommend this game for you without a doubt. Grim Dawn. This is a true gem for any RPG hack-and-slash lover. In fact, people say that Grim Dawn is how Diablo 2's sequel should have been. Though I must warn you, at the Steam store I found reviews of this game with thousands of hours of playtime, so it can hook you really hard, and instead of doing something useful, you're gonna play Grim Dawn all the time. But if you're not afraid, if you think that Grim Dawn will not suck your time like an endless abyss, you just have to try it. Grim Dawn has a wonderful dual class system where you can combine any of 6 classes with over 25 skills and modifiers per class. You will also enjoy kiting and evading monster attacks because here it actually matters, and all of that is decorated with a wonderful art style. Baldur's Gate: Dark Alliance. Game was released in 2001 on consoles, and in 2021, 20 years later, it got a Steam version. This game is an undying classic just like Diablo itself, although a bit less popular. Well, honestly, way less popular. Just like you were in school compared with that really popular dude you hated so much. Let's hope he's poor and homeless now. Anyway, 30 euros for the game that was released 20 years ago is a long shot for the publisher. They aim at your nostalgia and they know that you have money, because if you play the game 20 years ago, you're probably an old and kinda rich man by now. And also I want to stress out that the game had no discount on the recent Steam summer sale, so I wouldn't be hoping that the price would go down anytime soon. You know, it's not your sister. Torchlight 2. Torchlight 3 is a mess. At the moment of creating this video, it had less than 50% of positive reviews. So just ignore it and play Torchlight 2 instead if you are in need of some colorful action. People on Steam are talking that this game is highly addictive and can fast forward your life rather quickly. Some people say that this is a spiritual brother of Diablo 2, but I can't agree with that. It's too cartoony, the models and color palette reminds me of World of Warcraft instead. Although I played World of Warcraft for several years, I still have the best memories. Anyway, Torchlight 2 is great, very complex and fun, and if you are cool with this colorful Disney princess graphic style, it may be one of the best action RPGs games you have ever played. Vikings: Wolves of Midgard. It looks exactly like Diablo 3 and can be a nice game for you to try if you like some casual hacking and slashing action. Just be aware of the lame saving system, which is based on checkpoints. If you die before one, all progression is lost. Also, if your game crashes or let's say you lose power at home, all progression is lost as well. That is irritating in a game like that. You know, it's not some alien isolation where saving anytime can ruin the game. Action RPGs don't have such problems. We are here for the loot, and here you can get a legendary item and lose it immediately because of the lame saving system. And also here you can't respec your stats. If you made a mistake, that's it. You are screwed and you will have to start this game again, or continue with this limpy character you made and now hate. Buy this game only on sale when it's very cheap. It can cost as low as €6 on bigger sale, and in my opinion that is exactly what it is worth. Warhammer Chaosbane. In a world ravaged by war and dominated by magic, you are the last hope for the Empire of Man against the Chaos Hordes. So, knowing you, the Empire is screwed. You can play solo or with up to 4 friends in local or online co-op multiplayer. From the sewers to the ruined streets, fight your way through monster hordes using over 180 different powers. Enjoy 5 character classes and defeat over 70 different enemies. Battle Nurgle's minions, Khorne, Spawn and waves of other vile creatures. The game also includes 43 Steam achievements. It looks great, but it has some disadvantages as well. The story is short, it will burn only about 12 hours of your time, levels are a bit repetitive, and in each chapter you will find the same enemies just with different colors. That's a shame, so I don't recommend paying the full price. Grab it on sale when it costs less than €8 and you won't be disappointed. Shadows Awakening. Here you can walk between worlds, and this time you need no drugs for that. In the Shadow Realm you will slay various spirits and demons, and in the real world, well, you know, as usual, spiders, snakes, scorpions, koalas, maybe probably not, and other friendly stuff every Australian could find in their garden. And the game's concept itself is really cool. I had a lot of fun playing this game, although be warned, if your IQ is low, some of the puzzles in the game can be really challenging. Don't ask me how I know that, I just heard that they are hard for other people, and I definitely had zero problems myself.
That is a lie.
Oh, shut up. Also, the game is kinda hard in general, and I was dying all the time. Anyway, it is still a great game. Eclipse. Here you will play as an ancient god. Yeah, not a peasant, not just some guy who develops superpowers in exchange for smaller balls, but a real god. Being so powerful, you will crush monsters, complete quests, and find and destroy the source of non-alcoholic vodka. And by that I just meant evil. Listen to that. Eclipse is a mix of nostalgic hack and slash games and sci-fi projects. So basically,
the future is now!
Yeah, here you will use futuristic weapons in a medieval setting, and you are a god! This game is wild. Although keep in mind that you will also have to use your brains. The dungeons are full of mysteries, puzzles, secret passages, and magic items. Judging by the reviews people left on Steam, I can surely say that almost everyone is impressed by graphics. This game is beautiful, just like you, my friend. Death Trash. This game is awesome because it is different. Developers tried to create something original, and I think they succeeded. Here you will spend a lot of time in usual underground facilities and dungeons, but it has completely different approach to narrative. You will never know what to expect here. Also here you will encounter extensive player freedom, ranging from manual save games to the fact that any dialogue can be just left anytime. Also here you can kill everyone or just sneak around and leave stuff alive. If you are not allergic to pixels, this may be a great game for you to try. And if you are allergic to pixels, that's okay. At least you are not allergic to boobs and beer, right? The Slormancer. Another 2D gem with slightly lower review score than Chronicon. Anyway, very positive reviews can easily catch anyone's attention, so let's explore what you will get. You will find 3 unique classes and more than 200 unique abilities, upgrades and passives for every class. Each active ability here has its own skill tree, allowing you to create unique combinations. You will also find 120 weapons available for every class and more than 400 achievements to unlock. An overkill? Yes, but a pleasant one. There cannot be too many achievements. You know, they are like kittens. 1 is great, 2 is awesome, but if I throw 400 kittens at you, it would be super fantascular. Yeah, I just invented this word and it's officially awesome. People on Steam are talking that they snort this game instead of drugs and get higher than ever. Also, it has great music, but lacks in enemy variety, and here you will find only 4 acts out of 7. Yeah, because this game is an early access, but that will give you about 10 hours of gameplay anyway. Darksiders Genesis. This is a nice game with great humor and very positive reviews on Steam. It is really well balanced to play in co-op mode, but also you can play it in single player as well without any regrets. You, like me, probably have no friends anyway. Although I must warn you that here you will do more shooting than slashing, but you will get a fair share of the latter as well. In general, this is a solid hack-and-slash game with very positive reviews left by more than 7,000 people. It's kinda obvious that developers put a lot of work in this game, although it's not flawless as well. The camera angle and its functionality in general will fill you with rage more than it should. Some people on Steam are even saying that this is the worst camera they have seen in years, and those virgins know their stuff really well, so keep that in mind before you buy.
Book of the Demons!
It may not be the prettiest face in the action RPG family, just like our faces are not the best looking ones in our families, but Book of Demons is a surprisingly good game that I ignored for years for no good reason apparently. This is an awesome game where you decide the length of the quests, wield magic cards instead of weapons and slay the armies of darkness in the dungeons below the old cathedral. Yeah, you heard right, below the old cathedral. Come on, stealing a plot from Diablo is kinda dumb, because this plot is dumb in general.
Oh, there is a powerful demon and he lives under a cathedral!
Wow, how could you think this plot worthy of Academy Award?
Said no one ever. Anyway, I can recite one happy customer. He says, I was skeptical from the description, but I figured I gambled 20 bucks on it. Very glad I did. So if you are skeptical as well, you have every right, but you are wrong. It's a great, entertaining title and it's kinda cheap, although not as cheap as your sister. Wolcen, Lords of Mayhem. This is the first time I put this game in any of my reviews. The main reason for that because Wolcen is buggy and now it seems that the game is abandoned, because the last update on Steam was left in April, a long time ago. Well, I hope it's just a pause and not the end. One of the best comments showing the game's current state is this one. Dude says,
Quest was glitched 10 hours into the game. I came back 2 years later, restarted the game, and the glitch is still here. I can't even finish the story.
And I understand that these glitches are ruining not everyone's game. There are some dudes with 70 hours game time who leave positive reviews saying that the game is perfectly playable and really fun. Also, let's be honest, Wolcen looks incredibly good. This is maybe the best looking action RPG game so far. But paying 35 euros for the risk of glitches is not for everyone. At the moment of creating this video, it has 56% of positive reviews, meaning that 44% are negative. That is self-explanatory, but you may want to take the risk anyway, so wait for a sale. The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing Final Cut. This is definitely one of the most known action RPGs out there. If you are in doubt, you can download a free demo at first and try it out, and in the full game you will find a campaign with over 50 hours of gameplay. This version of the game is the collection of 3 standalone episodes told as one continuous story, with 6 playable classes and new endgame mode with a huge variety of open missions. People on Steam are talking that this is a very addictive game, not as addictive as potato salad, but there is a huge chance that you will have a lot of a great time. Victor Vran. You'll forge your own personal version of Victor thanks to a vast array of powerful weapons, game-changing outfits, wicked demon powers, and destiny cards. Use special moves, combine skills and weapons to wipe out hordes of hideous beasts and clever boss monsters. And this game is the most metal game I have ever played. Well, along with Brutal Legend, Victor Vran has an entire DLC dedicated to the Motorhead band. How cool is that? They aced that DLC, and if you like metal, Victor Vran is the choice for you, no doubt. Minecraft Dungeons. This is a very nice isometric hack-and-slash title, a spin-off of the very well-known game, Terraria. Well, maybe not. The plot revolves around a villain known as Arch-Illager, the leader of monster armies. You can brave the dungeons alone or team up with friends. Up to 4 players can battle together, all in an epic quest to save the peasants and take down the evil. You will explore dungeons, swamps and canyons full of danger. One thing that distinguishes Minecraft Dungeons from other hack-and-slash games is that there is no character development.
I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
No. Please, mister, it's okay. Instead, character development is done by finding better and better equipment, mainly weapons. You can unlock 250 unique artifacts and other stuff to perform and survive devastating special attacks. And when your imaginary girlfriend finds you playing this, say that you are doing research or something, you know, for science. Let's be fair, it's a game for kids, but it has 91% of positive reviews on Steam, so how can you resist? Titan Quest Anniversary Edition. Originally the game was released in 2006, so it would be outdated by now, but thanks to this major overhaul, it is not. You will get better resolutions, larger camera distance, multiplayer, mod support, Steam achievements, improved enemy and pet AI, countless bug fixes, dozens of new heroes, and so on. Titan Quest is a great game, one of the most loved by the action RPG community, and I couldn't recommend it to you enough. It's literally like a potato itself in a potato salad. Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Martyr. This is a very nice game, but keep in mind that it is best played with a gamepad because playing with keyboard and mouse is really not as comfortable, although some people could argue about that because there are many gamers in both gamepad and keyboard camps, although gamepad camp is way bigger. The action of the game evolves in a really dark, gritty, gothic grim dystopian future where you travel through the innards of a gothic-class ship named Martyr, and the gameplay, the main thing of every game, is highly addictive. It will burn tens or even hundreds of your hours even quicker than alcohol does. People on Steam are talking that this game is a no-brainer for those who like Diablo. It's basically the same, just in the Warhammer universe. The Ascent. You will kill hundreds of enemies in a corporate-run metropolis stretching high into the sky and filled with creatures from all over the galaxy. So yeah, beside it being a mishmash of Cyberpunk 2077 and Diablo, the game has those Star Wars and Fifth Element vibes as well, and that is awesome! You will play as worker enslaved by the company that owns you and everyone else in your district, but one day you decided that enough is enough and started killing everyone. Well, the real story is a bit more complicated, but you're watching this video not for spoilers anyway. Although don't get too excited yet, some people are complaining about disappearing save games, and it seems that this is a problem that goes on for months. Either developers have no idea how to fix it, or they just don't care. Path of Exile. This game is free to play, but of course it tries to feed itself on your inner greed demons, trying to convince you to buy some cosmetics and storage space. But if you can stand before that urge like a true warrior, nobody is taking a dime from you. Also in-game, your power is limited only by your skills and items, not by money you spend. Game is constantly updated, new areas and mechanics seem to come every quarter, and Path of Exile 2 is on the corner as well. It also has a story mode which, like the game itself, is absolutely free. Although sometimes the game is crazy hard, especially if you're a new player. Don't be afraid to use some guide or something, you will thank yourself later. And now is the time for you to subscribe. I'm not kidding, just do it. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time, bye.